Oh boy, here we go. Fun times to be had. This is a bit unexpected, but I'm kind of glad it played out the way it did. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopian News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company ever. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is basically a continuation from a previous video. I'm not sure if it's out yet at the time, but oh boy, just a second. Okay, sorry about that. I'm messing with like a new plugin that and I'm kind of testing like a vertical outlet or output, if you will, for shorts. And then like I don't know, that's something that one of my peoples want me to try for next year. But I'm just trying to get it in there and try to get an idea how it works, and we'll see how it plays out. So it is what it is. I sometimes produce a quotable or two every once in a while, so why not? Anywho, this right here is a continuation of a video that happened. For me, it was like yesterday when I did that video. I'm not even sure if you guys have seen it yet. You should. It should have been published by now. But I was going over an old video of DSP talking about the $3,000 that he wants to make on his own, big kid now type shit, so on and so forth. And he brought up that he wanted to do a collab with ITSAGUNDAM. He actually wanted to do a collaboration with him through Kino Casino. And I was like, wait, what? I don't remember. Doesn't he run around here calling fucking Gundam Yucko the Clown or whatever fucking reference that is, or whatever? But you wanted to actually collab with him? But it gets even grimier than that, because if you go, ladies and gentlemen, getting ahead of myself, why don't we go ahead, slip into something a bit more comfortable and move over to my favorite segment. Hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite segment as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. Now, DSP, didn't you say when you showed those DMs, which was supposed to be on the 666 podcast with fucking Review Tech USA's dumbass that he completely fucked over and then he ended up getting himself booted off? Didn't you say that you had DMs showing, actually I'm sure he did show them, these DM messages of them kind of Kino Casino clowning Gundam here or there or saying whatever, and you were like, oh, that's messed up, you know, why would they do that? Why would Gundam go up there? This is how they really think of him, this, that, and the third. But yet you wanted to have a collaboration with him to do what? So you knew that Kino, let's play off of DSP's situation and I'll give you an idea of what's really going on. So you knew that Kino Casino was talking shit about ITSAGUNDAM. You wanted to do the collaboration through Kino Casino with Gundam, right? So you can reap the rewards off that. Then later on, after you performed the Snake Eater, King Snake, after you did that bullshit on Kino Casino, you were going to try to draw ITSAGUNDAM in and have him do a collaboration stream going over the stuff that they had allegedly said behind his back. That's funny, because didn't DSP try to do that with Review Tech USA? And what is it that I try to tell you guys? The way DSP does anything is the way he does everything. Now, initially, at the end of the last video, it was like 3 or 4 minutes. I thought it was just a small throwaway thing. Oh, wow, that's interesting. He actually wanted to do a collaboration with Gundam, with ITSAGUNDAM. But after I finished the video, I was thinking to myself, and I was sending it off to the editor, I was like, the fuck? So I called up one of my peoples, and I was like, yo, let me run this idea by you real fast. And they were like, yo, you need to talk to Diggs. So I sat there and ran to Diggs, and I was like, yo, man, this situation right here, I need to know if you can find it from such and such date, this, that, and third. He's like, give me like 15, 20 minutes. He's like, yo, there you go. Already got it all cut up for you and everything, which is what we're going to go over today. But like, it's wild how DSP really thought he could maneuver these people and all this shit. So the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, that is if Kino Casino had talked shit about Medicare, if Kino Casino had talked shit about Mutahar, if Kino Casino was talking shit about any of these quote-unquote people who were supposed to do these collaborations with DSP through Kino Casino, DSP was planning on using all of those people against Kino Casino later. Each and every one of them. He tried to do it with Rich because Rich was the main target. That didn't work. Apparently, he wanted to do that shit with Gundam. Who knows what he was trying to do with Mutahar and whatnot before he fell victim to the Sonic Chew curse. That shit gets in. He's not doing nothing with Ethan Ralph. He's not even trying to risk that shit, which makes sense. So it's really, really wild what the situation is. I don't know what this cut has, right? Because like I said, the first 4 minutes we went over on another stream, but I'm gonna do it. On another video, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through it for context. And that in my theory crafting, my swine crafting, if you will, has kind of evolved a little bit since that video. And then we'll see what Diggs has brought us on the middle and the end of it, and we'll see what comes about. And hopefully it's something interesting. I gotta tell you, because I had just, this shit kind of gets deep. Not too deep, not too serious. You know what I'm saying? Ask Cat and whatnot. Phil can only do what he can. But this shit could kind of get deep if one was willing to put in the time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And let's go ahead and move along positively with this bullshit. Holy fuck. I can't believe he tried to do this shit. But he's a scumbag, so of course he tried to do it. DSP ain't got any morals or scruples and shit. So let's go ahead and bring down the tone a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Since we're in the den of the Gouty Viper and whatnot, so let's make sure the atmosphere follows along. Obviously, it wouldn't be this nice. It's still my aesthetic, but it is what it is. You guys get it. All right, and let's see if we can bring up the video. What's this?
There we are.
There we are indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Proper introductions. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Raw Phil. Big ups to Raw Phil. This was cut by Diggs. Darksydephil speaks on ITSAGUNDAM in Kino Casino. This is from April 4th of 2025, year of the snake, King Snake, Snake Eater, and whatnot. Womp, 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 womp. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start ourselves off right. He really thinks he's smarter than he really is. It's fucking wild to see it. But you gotta love to see it. Yeah, you gotta love to see him try, I suppose. Here we go.
There we are. That's the correct leaderboard. I received a $2 tip. Someone did a $2 tip saying, here's some support for Sweet Coden. I see you mentioning your goal would be to raise more than you did. No, this is wrong. He says,
but it's not wrong. He did say that he wanted to raise more money. He wanted to have a stream where he raised more money than he did when he was doing the collaboration with Kino Casino. To give you guys just some context, that was from April 3rd. That is what he said. And why DSP, then DSP tries to double back, say he didn't say it. Then DSP tries to go on and say, oh, I'm not trying to beat them in views or in you know, ad revenue or whatever, or in money in general. This isn't a competition. I just want to show that I'm a big kid now and I can do everything on my own. Womp, 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 womp.
I see you mention that your goal would be to raise $3,000 in a single day to beat Kino Casino. That's not beating Kino Casino. What I want to do is I want to show that I can still be as successful without them as I was with the one collab that we did that was successful.
But you can't. So that's not a thing. And that in the gaming, the two gaming streams he did, at least two, which was Chained Together, and he did, I want to say, wasn't that Black Ops 6 Zombies, I think they did? They did a stream on that. Those went, I guess they went fairly well, I suppose. I don't know if he got a bunch of contributions and that's how he's sitting there and judging it, but it is what it is. Now, granted, as I said in that last video, the reason why he has sour grapes about the Chained Together stream is Mutahar was supposed to be on that stream, right? He was supposed to be there, but he backed out at the last minute. Smart move on his part. And then he ends up getting sent to the fucking Nether Realm, the Shadow Realm, if you will, because of the Sonic Shoe Medallion. So, or the you know, the dimensional break in that, and sat there and caught up Mutakar's ass. So there's that on that. On top of the Nux situation that he's still dealing with. Womp, 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 womp. Should be careful who you get in bed with. So, you know, that's the thing. I don't smell no bacon cooking.
Quite frankly, that's all it was. It was one collab that was a big successful thing. Everything outside of that, after that, didn't work. Their ideas were not good. They just were kind of, I would say the,
keep in mind, he wasn't even willing to commit to those ideas, right? They had a bunch of them, and PvP even told us a bit about them, and DSP wasn't able to commit to them. He didn't want to commit to them. But the fact that he wanted, but then again, DSP doesn't actually want to play games. It's not that these guys don't play games, because that's not true. PvP and Andy do play video games with each other. Andy, after the main stream that him and PvP do, he usually plays a game after the fact. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel that he puts it back on. Now that I think about it, actually, now that I think about it, Andy just got his main channel back. It's been a number of years, but he just got it back recently. And actually, now I think about Josh from the farms, he just got his original Mad at the Internet YouTube channel back as well. Not only that, there's a bunch of people who are starting to slowly but surely get their channels back. Monkey Jones, I think, recently got his channel back. He got rid of all of his content. He's starting all over, or, you know, we privated or he unlisted or whatever. But he's doing, there's a bunch of people. So for some of y'all who may have actually lost an account because of YouTube, you may actually get it back now. So I'm hoping that me and Asian GTG, we had a few channels back in the day. I'll explain to you on that shit later. Also some anime fucking manga community drama shit. But I'll see if I can, if that ends up coming back, then, you know what I'm saying, maybe we'll tell you the story about that nonsense. But there's a bunch of these channels that are starting to come back into fruition, which is kind of cool. Now, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, actually harkens back to something that I told you guys some months ago. El Presidor, right? He had he was logging into his YouTube channel, his secondary channel, one day, and he accidentally logged into his main channel, Quantum Bishop, which was taken down years ago, fucking years and years and years ago. And he logged into it by accident, and they said, oh, you know, would you like to, you know, put in a dispute to get this channel back? And he was like, he made a video about it. Then he was like, well, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and do it. And he did get it back. He's actually bouncing between those channels now. And if I remember correctly, he says he's got full monetization back and everything on it too. So the fact that YouTube is going out of its way to release some of these more controversial channels, but releasing channels in general, I think really speaks to some of the larger changes that you're seeing on YouTube as it pertains to they want more people on the platform, and some of these channels that end up getting taken down for whatever reason. Well, a lot of those rules don't apply anymore. Like a lot of, like, for example, in the anime and manga community, a lot of the shit that was definitely would have gotten you copyright striked or whatever, or people could false copyright you for. So a lot of that stuff doesn't even apply anymore. And I think YouTube is slowly but surely going back and re-releasing that. Because I think, honestly, despite the current criteria to be monetized, I think they're going to drop it even lower and do kind of like what Twitch is, where, hey, everybody can come in through the door day one and be monetized. But if you want some of those extra features and this, that, and the third, you're going to have to work towards a certain plateau for it. But getting everybody in on you know, the ground floor to get monetized is a thing. As long as you don't mind going ahead and giving away your personal information to Google and, you know, so on and so forth, which they're asking people to do that now just to watch content. You know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting situation. I'll say on top of that, and I'll occasionally throw it out as I feel it's appropriate, I suppose. But interesting stuff, though, just in case you guys weren't keeping up on that.
Chained Together gaming collab was fun, but it didn't resonate because their audience isn't a bunch of gamers. Their audience is a bunch of drama queens because that's what they want. That's the content they make.
You're not a gamer, nor do you put out gaming content. So it is what it was. On top of that, as I said in the last video, fucking Andy and PPP had to carry his ass through that game. It was brutal watching them literally have to carry his ass kicking and screaming through that bullshit. It was lame. I almost feel like DSP was purposely sandbagging to make shit difficult for them. I honestly feel that way. But that's neither here nor there.
Drama queen shit, you know, gossip, bullying nonsense for idiots. So because of that, the audience didn't like gaming. You know what I mean? And outside of that, everything.
And it's also funny too that he can sit there and say, oh, they're drama. Everybody over there just absorbs drama content. They're not gamers. You don't know shit about shit. You just make terrible gaming content that the masses don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about your shit content. You know what I mean? Like, would you think, Phil, you were going to get thousands of dollars to have two other people drag your ass along? No, fuck you. He was depending on Mutahar being there. He was depending on that boost and the money drumming from that, and it didn't happen. That's what he's mad about.
else we tried to do didn't work. Their ideas sucked, and they couldn't get the clout to get the good ideas going.
And what ideas did you bring to the table? What collaborations did you want to do? Who did you try to bring to the table to make that work? He's completely and utterly codependent on them doing everything, and him just reaping the rewards. And maybe Mutahar didn't want to get milked that day, I guess.
If we had done a show with ITSAGUNDAM, if we had done a show with Mutahar, if we had done a show with any of the candidates who we had talked about, it would have been great.
You have no clue about that. You don't know. I mean, the Josh interview went well for everybody else, not you. You had to give up Derek that day, or did you forget? So that didn't necessarily work out, and you couldn't get him to take your thread down. That didn't work out. And it's clear, speaking of which, it's clear that Josh wants to take down that whole DSP subforum, and he just can't do it because he needs the traffic. And that's why he was so quick to, back in the day. For those of you who know, you know. Well, not back in the day, just like a year ago, I guess, or earlier this year or late last year. He was so desperate to be like, you know, what other threads do you guys frequent? Do you guys care about anybody else on this site? You know, is there anybody else that interests you? If you read through the Kiwi Farms, the DSP Kiwi Farms threads, right? I've seen plenty of those guys in other places, like on the site, I should say. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. They congregate there because that's probably who they've been following the longest, or that's where they have a lot of, you know, active back and forth. But a lot of those guys were in a bunch of different threads. So the fact that Josh was basically putting out homework assignments and shit, basically being like, hey, find another fucking person on the site that's funny and find something that they did and bring it to me. What the fuck? What is this? Like, why? Like, why are you making those demands over there in Girl World? Are you making that shit in the fucking horror cow threads and shit? Are you doing it anywhere else? No, you're just doing it in the DSP thread. Because he didn't want to lose their influence. He didn't want to lose their traffic, but it's clear he wants to get rid of the DSP thread, which is weird because you defended, talking to Josh now, you ain't defended a lol cow before, or you've defended a few actually, and you got bit in the ass on all of it. You tried to defend fucking Chris Chan, you saw how that played out. You tried to fucking defend Wings of Redemption at one time. He literally tried to weaponize you and your thread against his own trolls, and he failed obviously, but you had that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Josh shouldn't extend his quote-unquote kindness to people who he feels don't deserve it. I get that. But you have very poor judgment, which is very clear. That's why you got beefs with Dick Masterson and all these other guys. These are other dudes that you at one time or another thought you were cool with, and they all turned on you for whatever reason. And in some of those cases, I would say even most of those situations, you didn't deserve it. They asked you for an opinion, you gave it. And they didn't like it, and then all of a sudden they put you on the enemy hit list, which is lame. So now the DSP thread isn't anything like what it was, and at least not for the ways they think it is. There is a lot of insight over there, obviously. That's why people go over there. But people are fucking reluctant to talk because they don't want Josh running up in there with the fucking ban hammer again. It's just not worth doing. And maybe that's Josh's plan. His long-term plan is to sweat the thread out and then kill it off. I don't think he's going to delete it, because then, you know what I'm saying, Galtopia.net will get it, big ups proper, and then it is what it is. But then again, during that fucking interview with DSP, he even said, I'm gatekeeping the fucking DSP sub-thread over here because if they go somewhere else, I won't be able to control it. But you're the one who's saying that you couldn't control it there. So, whatever. Sorry, that's on some extra bullshit on my end. Don't even worry about that. But wild shit. And like I said, Josh shot himself in the fucking foot for no reason and whatnot. And, I mean, it is what it is. Be happy with the bliss that you got, I suppose. Very strange, though. Very, very strange. Because I don't understand, this will be my final thought on this, I don't understand how you can blame the guys on the forum for some random dude going up there talking about some type of gay op and shit. That wasn't even encouraged by people on the forum. The guys on the forums weren't encouraging that shit. That dude came up there with it. But it is what it is. But then you look at some of the shit that happens in Girl World, you look at some of the things that happen to some of them other threads, and is that okay? Or is that just something that you're not hyper fixed on? Is it because that every time Josh used to go into that DSP thread, they treated him just like any other person that commented on the thread? What were they supposed to do? Kiss your ass the moment you walked into that shit? Yes, you're the owner of the fucking thread. I understand the respect that should be extended to you. I think we all do. But you were walking up in that shit and acting like everybody needed to just bow down. And it's like, You don't do that in other threads. Because I'm not going to say I saw you get punked, but I've certainly seen you get pressed in some of those other threads. And I'm not saying you're a bitch and you took it, but I didn't see you really fighting back too much. Cooler heads prevailed, I suppose. But I didn't see you swinging authority back in some of those other threads. It's always the DSP one. I don't even remember you being that ruthless or demanding when you were in the Wings thread for a little while. Semantics.
They literally could get none of them. Zero. So the point I'm making here is I feel like I can be successful and do stuff that works without having to be toxic, drama queen, bullying nonsense. That's kind of my goal for this year. I hope that I can do something this year that would hit that level. Now, I don't know.
So he literally devoting a whole year to trying to top his appearance on fucking Kino Casino. That's pathetic. Holy shit. Holy shit.
What it would be. You would think it would be a special event like a marathon.
And then he's just as useless as he was with Kino Casino. Oh, I wanted them to do all the ideas. Their ideas suck, so that's why I snaked them. Now he's over here. I want all this. I want this to manifest in me having a successful stream where I can make $3,000 or more. But I don't know how to do it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I hope it happens. You're just as useless on your own as you were with them. So what makes you think you're going to be able to succeed? And I said succeed, Phil, not like your sister-in-law succeed, and she's not even good at doing that. So it is what it is. Just want to make sure because you get shifty about stuff, and the way you keep chasing low tier God around, that's just starting to get weird. I mean, it's always been weird. It's just getting weirder.
Or something would be when that would happen, right? But I don't know. But no, it's not. I'm not trying to beat them. To be quite honest with you, I'm not in competition with them. I never was. I'm nothing like them. I'm not trying to beat them in views or revenue or anything like that. That's not the point. The point is, I just want to show that I am a successful guy.
So you were okay with using their content to boost yourself up, but you're better than their content because you don't do it, even though you've actively engaged in it. Review Tech USA, COG, went after a couple other people too at their quote-unquote direction. If the drama content really, really paid off, and if he was actually good at it, would he still be harping the way snorting the same way that he's snorting now? I don't think so. No, you're not above it. No one is. And you've already reaped the benefits of it. You're just mad because you couldn't keep it going off somebody else's back. That's really what it comes down to.
Despite the fact that I don't have to bully others and bring others down to get over. You see?
But you didn't mind doing it to Review Tech USA, so what makes him the outlier? I'm not defending RTU, fuck him. But I'm just saying, what makes him the outlier?
Okay, so thank you for the $2 tip. Yes, It's a Gundam was there last week on their show, proving the point that they had already made about him. This is how dumb my actual critics or detractors are.
Wait, now keep in mind, he just said that he was wanting to do a collab with Gundam through Kino Casino. And then that didn't happen. So now DSP's butthurt because Gundam went over there and did a collab with them directly. And they made a bunch of money and everybody had a great laugh out of it. That shit was hilarious, by the way. That shit was crazy funny. And now he butthurt about it.
It's a Gundam is so fucking retarded. Literally in the DMs that I released, it showed PPP saying, It's a Gundam's a pussy. It's a Gundam will not actually ever do a real conversation with you because he's a coward. He only wants to do content where it's easy pickings, everyone piling on one person, no conflict against him, no chance that he has to actually say anything intelligent or defend himself. He likes shooting ducks in a barrel, as they say, right?
So do you. That's what the Review Tech USA collab was. Theoretically, you thought that the Josh interview was going to go that way and it didn't happen. So what the fuck are you talking about? What he's trying to accuse Gundam of, he was going to do himself. But more importantly, it's very clear that he was trying to weaponize Gundam against Kino Casino later. That's why he put out the DMs. He wanted to show, oh, look at what Kino Casino says about all these guys behind their back, thinking that he can reach out to these people later and be like, hey, we should probably talk. Matter of fact, I know I have the soundbite of it somewhere. I'm not sure if it's on this PC or not. But there was it's from a Gundam stream where he said that DSP wanted to talk to him. I can't remember if it was a collab. I can't remember, or if he wanted an interview. I can't remember what it was now. For the life of me, my apologies. But it was something along the lines that DSP wanted to talk to Gundam, and DSP's like, yeah, I don't want no parts of that. You know what I'm saying, I'm not even interested in that shit or whatever. I can't remember what it is now, but it's like it might be a minute or two at best. If I can find it, I'll see if I can get it inserted in here. If not, then it's just lost to the ether. I'm sorry, but it's from one of Gundam's early streams when he started streaming once a week on his channel and whatnot. But yeah, I remember that distinctly because I knew I was going to want to do something with that later. I'll see if I can actually find it and whatnot. And if I can, I'll try to insert it somewhere around here. If I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. But I know for sure that happened because I watched a stream, so I know. I know.
Alex Khan, Revenge of the Nether Realm, has been a member for 11 months. Leave it to DSP to bring the epic memes again. He's the greatest of all time. He's mad at me, though. DSP is very mad. He called me a bunch of unsavory things. I wonder where... God, I wish I could get ALT. He could find it for me. Where DSP just starts yelling at me. Where is that guy, huh? Why did you want to do something with me? It's like, because you pitched an idea. Like, I'll tell you guys, DSP wanted to debate me. Like, debate? What the fuck are we going to debate? What is there? What have you to say to me, sir? That would warrant me giving up like hours of my life with your monotonous minutia. You know, like I'd have to sit there and have Phil try to tell me his version of history. And I'll admit that here's a life tip. Pro tip. If you get a concussion, please seek medical help. You might be going Gundam. What's up with this? I'll tell you right now, okay? I have received numerous concussions, and I never went to a doctor. I figured I could walk them off. Well, it turns out they're not good for your brain, my dudes. And you might go, oh, duh, why did you figure this out sooner? Because I just started watching wrestler bios. And Chris Benoit was dropped on his head enough times to ice his whole family. And then they're talking about symptoms. I'm like, I got that. Yeah. Just random bouts of rage. I would start biting pillows and shit. I get mad. What's wrong with me? I'm like, oh my God, I'm suffering from concussions and years of mental and physical abuse. Also getting kicked in the head by a black belt. Do not recommend that. If you can avoid a street fight with a professional martial artist, avoid it. You know, swallow your pride and run. Do not take a kick to the skull. Man. Dude, copyright claims on DSP videos are so gay. Oh, I forgot to get that message from Craig where you shut up. Sit. Thank you. Now I forgot my train of thought. I wanted to ask Craig for the DSP Discord messages. I also have DSP's messages to Craig. I should read one to you. Or did I already read those? I might have already read them. No, I read different DSP quotes that were wild, didn't I? With Ratanga. Crap. I have to plan this out. It'll take me too long to find these emails. DSP writes to Craig like a supervillain. And I fucking love it. I love it. The dude is like, Craig, now that the tables have turned, I would like you to come on to my show so that we are on equal footing and we can hash out our beef. And Craig's like, sure, Phil, whatever. And then Phil writes like the Old Testament to Craig about all the things that was wrong and how Craig snaked him. It's fantastic, dude. I'm sorry, guys. Fluffy, all right. I'm going to get off then, okay? Then we'll go do what you want. Also, I'd like a meal myself. I'm very hungry. Damn it, I forgot what I was telling them, Fluffy. Why? Ever since Smokey died, you've been a little prick. Oh, now Cecil shows up. I'm about to leave Cecil. Oh, I'm cold. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
That's what it is. That's what he wants. There's fish in a barrel, right? Shooting, it's ducks in a row, fish in a barrel. He only does easy mode shit.
So do you. If you want to go off that narrative, so do you, Phil. So what's the difference?
That's the point. That's why he only does content on his own channel. He rarely does a live streaming appearance. And when he does, it's always the same shtick of everyone pile on. So he refuses to do the show with me.
So think about this too. He's sitting here shaming Gundam for not doing an interview with him or collabing with him, whatever, as if him and Gundam are on the same level where Gundam needs to do so. But what about all those times where people were asking DSP to collab with other people? And DSP's like, no, I want to be on my own island. I'm a one-man army. You know, I just want to do my own content. I don't want to deal with other people's shit. So it was okay for DSP to do it, but it's not okay for Gundam to do it. And DSP is literally contradicting himself because Gundam has showed up on other people's streams before. Matter of fact, when I start getting into the Comics Gate situation, Gundam's not actually part of that. He wasn't really around for all of that, or at least he wasn't as active, at least so far, from what I've seen. But he used to be over there with, I think, was that Friday Night Tykes? I want to say it's Friday Night Tykes. I don't think he's been on Geeks and Gamers, but he may have, now that I think about it. But I'm pretty confident it was Friday Night Tykes. Gundam was over there and whatnot. He was over there damn near, I don't know, weekly, but he was damn near over there weekly and shit. I don't really know why he stopped appearing, unless it has something to do with my subject matter in particular. It really doesn't matter, but it would be, now that I think about it, it would be interesting to know why he stopped doing that, actually. Because he was funny over there, at least in the old streams that I saw. He is funny, and he is insightful, so I don't know why he stopped. Huh. Anyway, that'll be a mystery for another day, I guess. Let's try to stay on task, Scooby.
When I'm going to be with Kino Casino because he's totally afraid, oh my God, he's going to lose. He's going to look like a loser. Look at the DMs. PPP was totally planning on piling on him and making him crumble, making him the loser in the situation.
Nah, you're delusional. You're delusional, which means what, ladies and gentlemen? Kino Casino was setting his ass up and he just didn't know it. As remember, DSP didn't want to get involved or do collaborations with anybody when he was down bad. But once Kino Casino ain't sat there and propped his ass up, once he had the Kino Casino stimulus package in the full works, then all of a sudden he wants to talk to people. Then all of a sudden he wants to do collabs. He wanted to wait till he had high cards, but he's literally accusing Gundam of doing the same shit, and that's not true. And then DSP's so stupid and mindfucked that he literally took them at their word, even though supposedly he knew that they were going to snake him, and he was planning on snaking them back. So why would he trust anything they say? And he's sitting there saying, yeah, they were going to set his ass up, and he don't even know it. We were going to dunk on his ass. We were going to play all nice and everything. The term is called well, on the streets anyway, it's called rocking him to sleep. But anyway, they were going to basically set his ass up and shit. And then I was going to come in and basically knock his ass down, and he was going to be completely blindsided. The fuck are you talking about, dude? Gundam and Andy go back a ways. I don't know about PPP so much, but I know for sure with Andy. You know what I'm saying? And especially since Andy ain't left the skeptic community and shit, he's not about really snaking people. I mean, he never really was, but, you know, it is what it is. So I don't know where he's going with that. All right, my fault. So, yeah, so let's see, where was I at? Gundam, let's see here, he won the collab. So yeah, so basically he was going to try to use Gundam to snake them later. Reap the benefits of a quote-unquote, you know, collab, but then he was going to turn around and basically try to use Gundam to stab Kino Casino in the back later, on the pretense, though, of, oh, they talk shit of you behind your back at this one time or a couple times or whatever in DMs to me, yada, 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 yada. When DSP more than likely initiated that anyway, and truth be told, DSP was so stupid he couldn't even see the fact that he was getting set up. Insane. Boy, Gundam did him a mercy and he can't even see it. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
That was the plan. Okay, he even told me how to do it because I didn't know anything.
All right, here, let me bring this back. That was the plan.
Totally planning on piling on him and making him crumble.
Wow. No, let's bring all of this. Let's bring all of this back. I need all of this. I need all of this.
He refuses to do the show with me when I'm going to be with Kino Casino because he's totally afraid, oh my God, he's going to lose. He's going to look like a loser. Look at the DMs. PPP was totally planning on piling on him and making him crumble, making him the loser in the situation. That was the plan. Okay, he even told me how to do it because I didn't know anything personal about this guy. They did. And they told me all this personal shit in those DMs. This is what you can use against him. This is what we're going to do.
He has no idea he was being set up. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. That's insane. And then I want you to see how stupid he is. He's sitting here saying, I called out Gundam because Kino Casino told me to. We were supposed to set him up. We were supposed to get into a collaboration, and then we were all going to dunk on him, and I was going to come out the winner. He was going to be the one in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. It was what we planned out. When in actuality, fucking PvP and Andy are looking at him and being like, yo, this guy's a fucking nut. And then more importantly than that, DSP's so stupid, he don't even think, he doesn't even, it's not even plausible to him that PvP and Andy ain't sent some of these DMs to Gundam and be like, yo, look at what we got this idiot doing and saying right now. What do you think? And Gundam and them are all having a good chuckle over it. I don't know if that happened or not. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But it's funny either which way. Because DSP is literally sitting here trying to basically plot on Gundam, and he thinks that Kino Casino is in on it with him, when in actuality, they doing it to fuck you over. Jesus Christ. And then he's saying he just wants to, and then DSP tells us, oh, I just want to get my point across. I just want to get my half of the story out. That's not what you're trying to do here. You're literally plotting. You're not trying to have a fair one-on-one with Gundam. You're looking at trying to actually stack the cards in your favor. But you're not part of the casino. You're not part of the house. Yo, that's so wild that he thought that was going to be a thing. Oh my God, mental illness at its finest.
He backs out, won't do it, runs away with his tail between his legs, despite the fact that he was bothering them endlessly about not doing content with me or him being a part of the content with me. When we finally say, yeah, let's do it, he drops out and runs away. Okay.
No, he doesn't have time to wait on you. That's what that was. Like, timing is everything. And yet again, DSP didn't want to do nothing with nobody because he was down bad and he didn't want that shit to be used against him. Now all of a sudden he thinks he's up, and now all of a sudden he thinks he's on equal footing. So now he's ready to do collabs. And what are you doing? You're scheming with Kino Casino to try to set somebody up. Scumbag. And he wonders why no one will talk to him. He wonders why no one will deal with him. Fantastic. Oh, man. Fantastic.
Okay. So now, guess what? I'm done with Kino Casino. I dumped them. So now they start doing their, oh, let's crap on DSP arc. Very predictable. Very, very lame because it's what every other person has already.
You were doing that. You were trying to set that up against Gundam. So it's lame. It's predictable. It's stupid when it's used against you. But you didn't have a problem when you were over there fucking sucking these guys off and shit when they were getting ready to do it to Gundam, allegedly. Oh, yo, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Oh man, that's why I love the old stuff. Holy fuck, and I've missed so much this year. I've been just picking and choosing what I wanted to go over and then whatnot. But fucking A, man, there's so much gold fucking gold dust out there that I still haven't picked up on yet. That's insane. That's so insane. He really thought that was a thing. Holy fuck.
Done, yet they got to follow suit because that's where the money is, because all they care about is money. They don't care about the quality of their content. They don't care about how much they make for their.
What he's actually saying is they don't care about him. That's what he's really trying to say here. It's pathetic and it's sad. Womp womp.
Their viewers. They don't give a fuck about their viewers at all. All they care about is milking their viewers for money.
Even though the viewers like the content, hence the reason why they're paying them to see it. Okay, whatever. Whatever. I'm not even gonna try to float along that fucking minefield.
So they do exactly the same shtick as everybody else. And then they say, oh, now let's get ITSAGUNDAM on the show. Well, yeah, because as you already said, the guy's a fucking coward.
He took them literally. Holy shit. He took them literally. That's so good. Oh my God. See, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, like, you guys socialize with people. You understand shit, right? Dude, when you're trying to set somebody up, you're going to feed the person who's really the target. You're going to feed them whatever it is that they want to hear to get them comfortable, to get them complacent, and to make it easier to compromise them. He's sitting here thinking, oh yeah, we're setting up Gundam. Yeah, I'll go out here and say this on my streams to try to antagonize them and, you know, make it seem like it's a fair one. And he was the one that was getting fleeced the entire time and he didn't see it. He didn't see it. So then when the fucking collaboration stream between Kino and Gundam happens, he's like, huh? That was supposed to be our plan. No, bitch. No, bitch. That wasn't the situation at all. There would have been far more money made if Gundam had came up there and confronted you, and Kino Casino would have just backed off and be like, hey, Phil, this is what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? This is what we planned for. You wanted us to engage with him, you know, get him up here so you can engage with him, so you can talk to him, so you can confront him. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead. He's right there. Go ahead and get him. But you didn't, though, because yet again, that right there opens up Pandora's box a little bit, the Gouty Pandora's box, if you will. And look back at the situation with Josh from the farms, right? In that interview / confrontation / whatever the fuck. Maybe DSP was thinking, yeah, we're going to plot against Josh. You guys are going to back me up, and I want him to take my thread down. PPP's like, yeah, if you go ahead and you give him your sympathy story on how much this hurts you, yeah, maybe it will convince him to take your thread down. This is all hypothetical. Pignosis, our favorite game. I don't really think that happened that way, but just run with it. And then when Josh actually went up there, they literally had to force DSP to fucking defend himself. And truth be told, there was a bunch of times where PPP and Andy sided with Josh. And it's very clear that DSP wasn't expecting that. He literally thought, no, this is 3-on-1. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is on some Jujutsu Kaisen shit and shit, you know what I'm saying? Just straight up reverse jumping. That's what he thought this shit was. And that's not what it turned out to be. So he was thinking, hey, you guys didn't help me out on that Josh thing the way you guys maybe were supposed to. So you guys have to have my back on the Gundam thing. Yeah, sure, Phil, whatever. Yeah, we got you. We got you. You know what I'm saying? He's a wussy anyway. You know what I'm saying? He's too scared to confront you, King Phil. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want any of that with you. And they gassed DSP's dumbass up. They gassed DSP's dumbass up, and he fell for the marketing scheme. I love that for him. He fell for the fucking marketing scheme. Oh, baby. That's good. That's good. That's so good.
Only show up when it's everyone piling on someone and it makes them look good.
Which is literally what he wanted. That's literally what he wanted. Oh, man, it's so crazy.
So by literally having him on their show, they proved the entire point that we were saying all along. The guy's a pussy, a coward, an awful content.
You guys tried to set him up. You literally were trying to run a 3-on-1 on him, allegedly. The fuck? He's not gonna run it. Gundam's not gonna run into a situation where he's got a train ran on him. Are you fucking crazy? And Gundam's been around long enough. You should be able to sniff out situations like that. Holy fuck. Let me be frank. If you've been playing the game online this hard for this long as Gundam has, you understand a situation when it is. The fact that DSP couldn't see that Kino Casino was setting his ass up is hilarious. I'm starting to think that Gundam was showing him grace by not going up there, because there's no way that DSP is going to beat Gundam. It's just not a thing. Ever. Not in this life or the next. So that's not a thing. So, like, he doesn't even realize that he was the one that was being played. And if he does, he won't admit it, because then that makes him look like a fool. Oh, man, it's so crazy, bro. It's so crazy.
Creator and a piece of shit. Pretty easy to figure out, and the results are there. There we are. That's
okay. Holy shit. Fucking I can't believe I almost forgot to book that flight. That's wild. Oh boy. Anyway, all right, we're good now. So, fucking A. Where are we at? Sorry, it's been like a half hour. It's been like a half hour. What was I saying? Okay, here. I'm gonna have to jump back a little bit. My fault, people. I'm just gonna have to jump back a little bit, figure out where we're at. I think we were somewhere along the lines where he was saying Gundam was dumb. They were, you know, they were actually setting him up. They were talking shit about him, this, that, and the third, and now he's over there collaborating with them, so on and so forth. I don't know. We'll pick a spot, then we'll start off from there.
on the show. Well, yeah, because as you already said, the guy's a fucking coward. He'll only show up when it's everyone piling on someone and it makes him look good. So by literally having him on their show, they proved the entire point that we were saying all along. The guy's a pussy, a coward, an awful content creator, and a piece of shit.
Coming from the same piece of shit who was trying to set him up instead of giving him the fair one. All right, whatever.
Pretty easy to figure out, and the results are there. It's not rocket science, but again, these people who...
You don't think Gundam didn't see the fucking DMs, though? He saw it when you and fucking Rich were supposed to do that situation, which was on some coward bullshit, too, by the way. Like, the fact that he's sitting here getting mad that the Gundam collaboration with Kino Casino happened and he wasn't there is already silly. The fact that he's mad that they talk shit about Gundam and Gundam still went up there. You think Gundam's stupid? Like, If Gundam thought that shit was real, he wouldn't talk to them. Or even if he did, or even if he was willing to go up there and get shit hashed out, then, you know what I'm saying, you get shit hashed out. Then, let's look at the coward shit that DSP did on his end. You ain't sat there and allegedly snaked Kino Casino, and the person who helped christen that relationship between DSP and Kino Casino, Rich, you try to bring Rich on to go after Kino Casino. You're literally no better. So you said he's so desperate to sit here and say Gundam's an idiot, Gundam's a simp, Gundam's whatever. And the reality is, DSP did the exact same thing. Fucking A, bruh.
Watch this kind of content are that dumb. They're so fucking stupid. They don't even understand that they're all being conditioned to watch garbage and throw money at it. They're just that stupid. I mean, you can't stop stupidity, I guess.
Hope sip. Who are you cheering? Let me show you again, because I am annoyed when he does that shit. All right, I'm not really annoyed, but it sounds funny when I say that. Okay, here's this Cope sip. Now watch this cheering part at the end where he kind of raises his glass slightly. Why? Why does that need to happen? What are you doing? All right, salute. Whatever. Whatever. Fucking A.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's continue, shall we? Let's not delve into the realm of drama too much. So we have Princess Luna with a $10 super chat this morning. Momentum for the Suikoden streak. It's Suikoden. Suikoden. It's supposed to be like 4.
Why are you trying to correct them on something that they clearly know what it is? They're just making a meme out. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care.
Actual 4 syllables. Suikoden.
Can't even take a joke. Can't even take a fucking joke. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Fucking moron.
Thank you, Princess Luna.
What time today, Phil?
And we have Remy the Prince, £2 super chat. Chill stream with. Oh, he's insulting Ethan Ralph. Well, people are still doing it. It's crazy.
It's funny too, actually. Like the confrontation between DSP and Ethan Ralph was never going to happen. It's very clear DSP does not want that smoke at all. Especially if you ain't saw what happened when Duty and fucking Ethan Ralph had that little situation on that little confrontation. That didn't work well for Duty, obviously, but then again, you shouldn't lie on people. So it is what it is on that. But it's clear that DSP just didn't want that smoke. That's just clearly not a thing. And there's no way that he's just going to put Ethan in the back pocket and that's it. Speaking of which, there's this interesting rumor going around that Ethan may be lining up another Mrs. Ralph, possibly. She seems young. I don't know how young, because that's already disturbing in itself, depending on what that situation is. But apparently there might be another Mrs. Ralph on the spectrum. Funny enough, she is a bit of an odd one. So, you know, I'm not saying that she is on the spectrum or anything, but I don't know. I don't know. She's we're not running on full cylinders. Let's just say that, apparently. But make of that what you will.
Ralph, it's been over a week removed since he's been on Smart Guys, and people are still insulting the guy. Jeez, people really do not like that guy. Anyway, thank you guys for the early support. Let's keep it rolling. So right now we got some super chats. And
oh yeah, that's another thing. He literally tried to collect Kino Casino's enemies and shit, and he failed at that too. So he failed to try to get people that they were shit talking behind the scenes, allegedly. He failed to try to get their front face enemies. He couldn't do any of that on his own. He failed at all of it. Fucking A, bro. That's just pathetic. Sad and pathetic.
Tips. Let's get our first sub over on Kick, and let's get some memberships here on YouTube. All right, let's get that momentum rolling. Let's hit that streak again, or that goal again, to keep that streak alive for Suikoden. Okay, cool. Now, before we get into the big Nintendo news again, every day I feel like there's Nintendo news. It's insane at this point. Let's talk a little bit about last night's Smart Guys episode. So first off, if you have not seen it yet, Smart Guys is live and archived over on the DSP Reacts channel. Oh, excuse me. Hooey. And it went pretty well, although yet again, it went long. I swear, every episode of this show, I'm trying to get it to be around 2 to 2.5 hours long. I feel like that's the sweet spot for this show. I don't want it to roll on too long. And every week,
he's full of shit. He just wants it to match up with the night stream so he doesn't have to go into overtime. End story.
It goes longer. Like every single week, it ends up going longer. I'm like, damn. I just can't get it down to that spot.
And it's funny because if you actually enjoy what you're doing, you shouldn't be always looking at the clock. Like, how is it that he supposedly owns his own business and yet he's thinking like an employee? Why does his whole schedule look like and is structured as someone who's worked a 9 to 5? I'm sure all of you have worked 9 to 5 at one time or another. You know what your fucking schedule looks like. That's how that shit is scheduled out. Well, it is called a schedule. He acts, and he basically conducts himself like an hourly employee. It's all he knows. You know what I'm saying? He don't know shit about middle management, let alone management. He carries himself like a drone, because he is a drone. But he carries himself like a drone because he is a drone. And he sits there and acts like, oh, I don't have to answer anybody on my own business. That bullshit. How many games have you quit because there wasn't enough support? That means you answered to somebody, right? That's the thing, right? If the money doesn't come in from the fucking peanut gallery, you don't play the games. And even when you sit there and try to, when you sit there and try to strangle it out, or you try to drag it out, or you try to hold it hostage, or now you're allowing, he's doing this shit now where he's allowing people to carry over, to contribute to contribute to streams in advance to keep games going, which that's pathetic. You know what I'm saying? Theoretically, what's that guy's name? Buckwell? Just off of what Buckwell has paid for in DLCs, DSP should just be playing truck sims no matter what. But he can't control the shit and whatnot, and he ain't let out a bunch of lore and a bunch of gold dust he didn't mean to, so now he wants to control the narrative. That's why that whole fucking toilet bowl thing is a thing and whatnot. It's just sad. It really is. Even when things are going bad for him and he's profiting, he still figures out a way to fuck that up.
Time that I want it to be. Anyway, so who was the guest host? Was it Mersh? Was it Cog? Was it anyone who people predicted? No. The guest host was someone who has been a part of the YouTube wrestling community and has done wrestling commentary before, Cypress TV, who also just happens to be one of my moderators in my stream chats. Okay. And
okay, that doesn't really even matter. I'm not sure why that was left in there, but it is what it is, I suppose. And wasn't, now that I think about it, wasn't Cypress TV one of the dudes who was cool with Andy, or was it PPP back in the day and there was drama behind that bullshit or something? Or was it the other guy who has the bad teeth? I don't mean just the guy for having bad teeth, but and that guy was one of DSP's mods. I can't think of his name. Don't even matter. It is what it is. It's not that important. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. So, okay. So, DSP admits that they were plotting on Gundam from the get-go. And when they couldn't line Gundam up, the snaketing happened. DSP basically, yet again, another example or reason for DSP to turn against Kino Casino because they couldn't make the Gundam situation happen. So he snakes them. Gundam goes over there and does a collaboration. That was a fantastic stream that night, by the way. I think, I know Tevin restreamed it because I watched that. Obviously, Raw Phil and Dark Dave Mirrors were in the building. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if there was anybody else who restreamed it. I'm sure there was. But that was a great stream and whatnot. I need to go over some selective clips from that. All that should already be set up now that I think about it. Diggs is probably already on that if he hasn't already done it. So that is what that is. That'll be fun to go over. But so they were looking to set up fucking Gundam. Now here's the thing: if they were looking to screw Gundam over, then it's fair to say they were gonna. According to DSP, they were looking to screw over Moonheart too. Anybody who was gonna go up there and do a quote unquote collab was gonna get basically busted over the head in some way, shape, or form. Man, all right, here let's close up shop. Let me give you guys final thoughts. Let me let you guys go. Okay. Okay. Anyway, big ups to Raw Phil, big ups to Dave, big ups to Gundam, big ups to all y'all. DSP's stupid. DSP is stupid. That's what it is. They fucking rocked his ass to sleep. He really thought they were going to turn against Gundam, and they didn't. And it wouldn't have benefited them to do so. Just like it wouldn't have benefited them to turn against fucking Josh. And so what did you think was going to happen if Mutahara did show up for the Chain Together stream? Did you think you guys were going to confront him too, and that was going to be a 3-on-1 or, yeah, 3-on-1? I don't know. I need to go back and look at those DMs a little bit closer and see who was named in there. And that'll give us an idea, because I don't even know if we know or if Kino Casino has actually said all the people that they wanted to try to get DSP to collab with. But if you think about it, DSP was looking at probably trying to get back at all of them in one way, shape, or form. So how are you going to sit there and say you don't want drama when he literally was trying to force Kino? Well, he literally tried to, I'm going to say forced, but even though that's not the proper term for it, he was essentially trying to force Kino Casino to set up his enemies so he could come out looking like the winner of it all, basically. You know what I mean? Like, that makes no sense, bro. That's fucking despicable. But yet again, DSP is running around here crying about no one wants to talk to me, no one wants to collab with me. It's the detractors' fault. They fucked my reputation up and they don't want to be harassed, and that's why no one... Nah, bro, you did it all yourself. And like I said, keep in mind, this right here is from April. April of 2025, this year. We're in September. This is from April. You know what I'm saying? That he was letting all this shit go. Fucking A, man. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Oh, like I said, there you go. Now you see what pigs can do. That's fucking ridiculous, bro. And it's even more ridiculous that he thought it would work. You really, like I said, Andy at the very least. I'm not sure so much about PPP, but Andy for sure has history with denim. Denims is really what I was supposed to be saying there. And she's down bad. Her, Casey Tron, and fucking what's her name? Java the Hutt. What's her face? Frogan. They're all down bad. That's ugly how all three of them imploded on themselves. That's fucking wild. Everybody was talking that hot shit till, you know what I'm saying, until everybody got served. Anyway, it's insane that DSP thought he was going to use Kino Casino to set all these guys up. And he thought he was really going to come out doing something. That's literally insane that he thought that was going to be a thing. Anyway. Okay, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host / anchor, GTG. And I'm signing off. Big ups to all of our affiliates and subsidiaries. All the people here at GTG Network and Productions. Take care of yourselves, people. Good God. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'll holler at y'all later. Good God, man. How are you going to sit there and be King Snake and be bad at everything? Can't set up anybody properly. Oh, man. If it wasn't so funny, it would just be pathetic. Later, people.